So the XFL start off this weekend. This Saturday and Sunday, they had games running on both days. They had some big name players from Paxton Lynch, Eli Rogers, Cody Lattimore, AJ McCarron, Kalen Balaj, um, Josh Gordon, Derek King, former Miami quarterback, and Jordan Taya Amon. So some big names started off in the XFL, and kind of want to break down the XFL versus the USFL, and I guess their intentions. And I think that it's one thing to mention that for a league to be successful, they have to have some type of transition from the NFL. I mean, from one of these leagues to the NFL, or the league won't thrive. I don't think the XFL should adapt. They just should adapt some of those components of the game that make it creative. But if they want to continue to have this longevity with the XFL, with the NFL. I mean, if they want to have longevity in the XFL, they have to partner with NFL in some way when it comes to development of players, of them maybe being able to play or get on a team with the NFL. I do think it's good that they are playing right now during a time period where they can send out film, they can still get on the roster before the season starts. So I do think it's a good thing for them. So just kind of break down the XFL. So how they're getting paid is $60,000 from training camp to the end of the season. So you're looking at 4 to 5 months. They make about $60,000, which is not bad. Now they also value this benefits package, which is worth an additional $20,000 in addition to paying for housing and 2 meals during the season, 2 meals a day during the season. So essentially, you're looking at $80,000 in total with benefits, as well as getting 2 meals a day and housing throughout the season. So you're looking at something and within half a year, you're looking at maybe 90, 100,000. I say maybe 90 to 100,000 within 4 to 5 months. 4 to 5 months in your season. So you're looking at 180 a year if you want to do it yearly, but not about 90,000 a year on 90,000 during that 4 to 5 month period from training camp starts to the end of the season. So just to kind of give context, NFL players on the practice squad earn a minimum of 12,000 per week in 2023. So you take that. Let me get my math calculator here. That 12,000 by 20 by a week, so by 52. So which is I should already know the math. By 2, so 12,000 by 52, which is 624,000 if they were there for the pretty much the whole year or the whole season or whatever. But 12,000 a week for practice squad players. The minimum salary for players on an active roster will be 750,000 for the NFL. So it's gone up a little bit. So now the XFL has been known to sign up some deals for some athletes up to 500,000. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but they do have a contract. They have the seven games we broadcast on ABC, a combination of ESPN, ESPN2, and 15 on FX. And ESPN Plus will stream every game. So every game with the XFL, the biggest thing is visibility, I think. Just having that contract deal so people can get in their head to see some of these big names, they'll pay attention to it, and access to see the games as well, too, will be important. Now, the difference between the XFL and the USFL, it's kind of minute, but believe it or not, the USFL has been around since '82. They had a 3-year run before pretty much going on a hiatus, and they returned in 2022, ending a 30-year absence of them not actually having any football. Now, the XFL, we all know, is relatively new. We remember the guy, He Hate Me, started off. It's founded in 2001 by Vince McMahon, and it came off as a direct competitor to the NFL, but didn't last very long. It lasted 1 year, and then it went on almost like 2 decades without having anything. And then 2008, it returned 2008 and played its first season in 2020. So in 2022. So during that time period of 2018 and 2022, they were doing marketing, getting players and whatnot, getting structure in place. The difference between the XFL and the USFL is this. The budget for the USFL for the USFL typically is around 150 million for the next 3 years, and it's funded by its broadcasters, by Fox Entertainment. So the USFL is a system that it uses. So the budget for the XFL was remarkably lower, but you have a lot of people that have invested into it. I won't be surprised if you see a billionaire or one of the top wealthiest people in the world invest in one of these. Um, it's almost like owning a team, owning a league. This is different. The NFL, the players own the owners own the teams. The NFL owns the actual league, right? This it's the players. There's no owners. The league owns almost everybody. So they can, if you talk about cheating, they can cheat if they want. Uh, just to kind of some of the rules, the rules in the USFL are a combination of the NFL and college, which really makes it no difference between you know watching USFL versus the NFL. The USFL doesn't make things too complicated. They make it pretty much a casual fan can follow. The XFL is a little bit more creative in the rule book. They have like the start of the games. It's a random ball placement. The kickoffs are different as well to mitigate to more one-on-one action, with them lining up, facing each other on the 40-yard line, rather than the coin toss that decides the team, which team who have the ball. They ball, one player from each team is placed at a 30-yard mark, and 50-yard mark, and whoever reaches the ball first gets possession. So that's unique. And then their XFL is known to add these kind of creative components in to draw you in. I will say this: if these two leagues want to be successful, there has to be two things set in place to make them two. Oh, sorry, I'm saying two like that. Two things set in place to make them successful. First thing is there has to be some type of player development that can segue these players to the NFL. There has to be some kind of contractual or just exposure to the NFL. People aren't going to join this league if it doesn't pay them well, and they can't sustain a lifestyle in it, or it doesn't give them a transition to the NFL. I don't think these leagues should be a direct uh, um, competitors, but it should be some type of development to the NFL where these lower tier players could go and transition to the NFL. Maybe down the line, 20 years down the line, if this keeps up, then maybe they can compete with the NFL. But the exposure has to be, has to give them exposure to the NFL, the players, or else the players won't invest in it. You won't get top talent. They'll go elsewhere, or just train and try to get on the squad. Game film reigns supreme, so game film can really help some of these players. Rather than a combine where you can't really tell how a player plays, game film is most important. The second thing is, and I hate it, it's sports betting. If this league wants to be sustained and these leagues want to continue, they have to get into that sports betting realm. There's a lot with it because these players aren't getting as played as the NFL players. There's a lot more security that the players can kind of put on. The league can put on the players as well too, as far as betting and whatnot, investigating and whatnot. It takes a lot of law enforcement and manpower to kind of monitor that. But I'm sure that people are betting right now. I'm sure people are watching, betting. The way to do parlays right now, they can bet on anything. But the sports betting has to be is going to be a one way that can help it. I don't like it, don't condone it. But if this leagues want to continue, these are two things that are going to have to happen for them to continue getting revenue and not just being overcome by the NFL. I do like the idea of a direct competitor to the NFL. I do like the idea of a supplemental league to the NFL. Football is football. The purity of it, the essence of the sport is there. So we'll see what happens as this thing lives out. But the ultimate goal is I'm enjoying watching the games. I'm enjoying seeing these players, how they think, how they're passionate about the game, etc. So XFL, USFL, I hope they continue to thrive.